Hello, and today we've got journalist and the View from Terrace presenter, Joel Sked. How are you doing today, Joel?
Yeah, good yourself, Angus?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good, thank you. So what is your first memory of playing football?
First memory of playing football, probably around the garden or around my where I lived. A couple of mates lived nearby, and I remember one of the mates, his mum drew goals on a fence and beside the garage, just using paint. So it just really elevated us playing, just rather than just kicking a ball about with shirts or bikes or whatever as goals. Just having that, it was brilliant. And then in my back garden was big enough to play football. My parents bought me a set of goals, which meant that my back garden was kind of just like the where everyone would come to play football, and much to the annoyance of our neighbours.
So what is your first memory? No, what is your first game you went to?
This is something I regret of me, because I had no idea, or something that annoys me because I don't know. I can't remember. I can't specify the exact first game. I remember going to Kirkcaldy to Starks Park with my dad to watch Raith Rovers Hearts. I remember going to East End Park to see Hearts against Dunfermline. I remember going to Tynecastle a lot when I was a youngster, but I can't remember the first game. I remember going to see us play Red Star Belgrade in the UEFA Cup or Cup Winners' Cup in August 1996, I think it was. So I would have been 7 then. So that would have been around my first time, because I don't think the Gorgie stand was finished by then. So that was one of the earlier moments.
So what's the first game you reported on then?
I can't remember this either. No, the first game I actually reported on, I think I did some work or some stuff for Hearts when they were looking to bring people on board to help with their media side. Again, I can't remember the first game. I really should have thought about my very first game as covering, because it is quite a big thing, because it only happened recently. I think it might have been against Hamilton, not last season, but the season before, around, trying to think, September time. I think if my dates are correct, was the first time. So it was certainly at Tynecastle, and it was the new main stand.
What's the best kit you've seen?
The best kit? Oh, that's easy. It's got to be Fiorentina in the mid-90s. The one that was just kind of immortalised by Gabriel Batistuta. I think it had Nintendo as a sponsor, so that's an easy one. That's one I always have a wee look at on classic football shirts, and realise I don't have anywhere near the money to spend and invest in that. So yeah, I think that's my probably my favourite kit of all time. But my favourite Hearts kit is it's probably the Hummel 2005-2006 shirt. I had that. Unlike a few of my mates, it didn't get worn down, but I gave it away foolishly when I was travelling around South America.
What's the best game you've been to?
Best game? That's tricky, trying to rack my... In terms of, obviously, the 5-1 against Hibs in the Scottish Cup final in 2012. That was the best game. It's hard to say it was the most enjoyable one, because it was so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nice feeling in the build-up. I remember even when it was 5-1, refusing to look at my phone, refusing to kind of accept that we were actually going to win it. Just always fearing the worst. So that's probably best game. Most entertaining game. I always, sticking on the Hearts team, I always go back to when we played Inverness. This was 2000, and I want to say 2007 or 2008. It was probably like the kind of around the nadir of the time under Romanoff, when Conor Butchka and Freo were the management team, and we got beat 3-2 by Inverness at Tynecastle, but it was just a mental game with Lee Wallace ended up in goals.
What's the worst kit you've seen?
The worst kit. Man, there's loads. I think ones that are just like really, I don't mind really wacky ones, but ones that are just really like mundane. Hamilton, for example, they just have like very much the same kits every year. I mean, it's probably hard to it's quite hard to do a lot with when you've got hoops. Worst kit is worst kit is just anything that's too mundane. I mean, even like some of the stuff that's come out from like Spanish teams where they've got like slices of ham on their shirts. It's mental, but at least it's amusing.
Right, we've established you're a Hearts fan. What's the worst Hearts team you've seen?
I'm actually going to say the team that played against St Mirren in the final game before lockdown, because I've mentioned it a few times. I always say it to friends that game still haunts me. Unfortunately, because of filming for A View from the Terrace, I wasn't able to go, but I set recorded it on BBC Alba, and then I was didn't record on BBC Alba. Sorry, I avoided the score and was waiting to watch on BBC Alba. Within 5 minutes of sitting down and watching BBC Alba, I knew it's like I would have happily taken 0-0 here. You just tell that Hearts were up for it, and the fact it was take away all like the what's happened since, but the fact that when that game was played, it was a relegation battle, and the team just didn't seem set up to play mentally to play that game, and it still haunts me how poor that team were on that night. So that's really left a bitter taste. So that's probably why I've said that. So the worst team, the worst Hearts team, I would go for that, because I mean there's a team that got relegated under Gary Locke, and it's hard to call them the worst because at least they had a lot of spirit, a lot of kids. Players went on to really do something, and if you take away the points deduction, Hearts would have at least, I think, finished at least 11th anyway. So there's probably been fortunate that Hearts have had really, really bad teams since I've watching, but when they've been bad, it's a lot to do with underperformance.
I was unlucky enough to be there on that Wednesday night in Paisley. It was, it was dreadful.
It was just so grim, and I still go. That's what makes it difficult to really get annoyed by the whole situation. I'm beginning to get frustrated by the whole situation, but just that anemic performance is.
What's the best stadium you've been to then?
One recently. This isn't the best, but one recently was the 1816 Munich stadium. So they used to play in the Alliance Arena, share it with Bayern Munich due to kind of money issues, but they've eventually went back to their old stadium, the Grunwalder Stadion, I think it's called. Pronunciation is really bad, but the setup was really good. It's like had the feeling of like an Italian ground that hadn't been done up. There was like terrace in, a lot of colour, a lot of noise, atmosphere. Just the way it was set up was really nice. I'm not a big fan of new stadiums. I like old-fashioned stadiums. Again, the like Montrose is one of my favourite stadiums in Scotland, just because it's the perfect lower league ground. You've got the old main stand, you've got covered terracing, and then you can and uncovered terracing. You can stand all the way around the pitch. So I've been to Old Trafford, been to St James's Park, stuff like that. But I'd much rather go somewhere like Montrose, and obviously Tynecastle.
Who's the best player you've seen?
I was going to go for a really hipster answer. I'll leave that for. I'll go see Alexis Sanchez is probably the player I've watched him at Wembley for Chile against England, and I've seen him in a friendly for Chile against Egypt. Both times he was sensational. He was so good. I've not watched too many top class games, like elite level games, so I've seen quite a few players play in Scotland, but Alexis Sanchez always stands out for the way he performed in both games. He was very, you can tell he was talismanic for Chile. My hipster answer is another Chilean player called Marcelo Diaz, who's incredible against England. But we'll won't go down that route because you'll have me talking for ages.
So, what was the last game you covered before COVID?
Last game I covered was the 1-1 draw with Motherwell at Tynecastle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was, again, having come off the back, I'm terrible with dates. Coming off the back of the win over Hibs, you're thinking that, which I covered, you were thinking perfect. Let's build some momentum. Get a win against Motherwell, because Hamilton have been picking up surprise results, and you really thought after beating Hibs that was the point. Hearts were going to kick on. Really looking forward to going to Tynecastle, but again, you could tell early on that it just wasn't going to be. It was going to be a difficult, frustrating day, and then Hamilton had a late win over Kilmarnock, and then of course the aforementioned St Mirren game.
Yep. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Probably something not given to me personally, but something that do you want it as a professional basis capacity, or just on like a how you live your life capacity?
Bit of both.
So professional was something I read by Rafa Honigstein, the German football writer. He basically said I think he was asked a question for people trying to get their way into the media. It's like, what can they do? How can they do it? And he basically said, find your niche. And that's kind of what pushed me down the route of covering Chilean football. And that's kind of built up on Twitter, and was fortunate to be able to go out to South America to do a bit of stuff around that. So that was good. I mean, I don't really cover it. I don't cover it at all, and don't pay too much attention to it now. But I think it was a really good way to get myself writing on a regular basis and make a lot of mistakes. I still make mistakes now, don't get me wrong, but it was a good way to kind of learn your craft, so to speak, because I needed something to do once I'd finished university.
And just finally, when was the last time you had to pay for a ticket to go to a football match?
Not too long ago. So did I pay for it? Because I went to 1860 Munich recently, and I think I paid for them. I don't think my girlfriend paid for them. On a Scottish basis, I'm trying to think. I paid. I don't know if this is the last time, but this was probably one of the more recent times in Scottish football. Paid to get into Cowdenbeath, Queen's Park, Cowdenbeath at Hampden Park back in, I think it was February. The benefit of, so obviously with Hearts I cover them a lot, and if I don't, a lot of my mates, I've got a group of season tickets, so usually one of them's not using it, so usually use that. So I think it was that Cowdenbeath, Queen's Park on a Scottish basis.
Right, Joel, that wraps it up. Thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Thanks very much for having me. It was very, very enjoyable, even though my memory is absolutely atrocious.
Thank you.